Hi, Merch Money. We are live again. So some of you may have just seen us on Clubhouse. We went live on Clubhouse. So thank you, Travis, for doing that. Somehow he agreed to do an hour for YouTube, but somehow we convinced him to do an hour beforehand on Clubhouse. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe we won't keep you the whole hour this time. But
it's fine.
But anyway, if you guys did not see the Clubhouse, feel free to type any of your questions into either YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching. It should be live in both places. So today we are going to be talking about selling print on demand on Walmart. It's a platform that not a lot of people, I'm sure there's quite a few people selling on there, but not a lot in our little community. Most of us are selling on Merch by Amazon or on Seller Central or Etsy. So this is new for a lot of us to be selling on Walmart. So welcome, and you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. My name's Travis Ross, and myself and my podcast co-host Josiah came on Merch Money, I don't know, back in September, October, sometime last year, just to kind of talk about the podcast. But this Clubhouse thing that has kind of come out recently has been really kind of fun and and I'm not in Q4 anymore, and my family doesn't have COVID anymore, so I have a little more time, and so now we're kind of jumping into, looking at, getting to be on Clubhouse and kind of rekindling some old relationships and meeting new people and talking print on demand, because I love print on demand, and it's what I do. So here we are.
Well, welcome back. Round number
thanks.
2. And hopefully,
Thanks.
I was going to say the sound and the video is better, but now somebody's commenting that they can't hear anything.
Oh, no.
And they're saying the connection is totally blurry. Oh, no. I wonder if that's on my end or can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you just fine.
So weird. Because somebody commented that on the last video from last week, and I looked at it and it seemed fine. So I don't know. I apologize, guys, if it's somehow... Oh, Mike is saying he can hear and the video is good. Okay.
Oh, good.
So strange. I'm looking. Okay. So the people that said that were both on YouTube, but then Mike is on YouTube also.
Donna's on Facebook and said she's not hearing anything. So Donna, make sure. I don't mean to.
And June and Joanne both say it's fine too. So
okay. Maybe it's good now.
And AT is saying it's fine. Okay. Well, we're just going to continue. I apologize for anyone where you're not seeing it as well. But we will also download the audio and upload it to the podcast. So if you can't get it to work, tomorrow it'll be on the podcast. So anyway, yes. So Clubhouse has been amazing. I just can't believe how many people I've reconnected with or just gotten to know better. Because on Facebook, it's just like little comments here and there. And then Clubhouse, you're having a full-on conversation. So really nice. So anyway, so where to begin? All right. So first of all, I think a little more background on Travis.
Sure.
I had known Travis from FBA days. So I used to sell on Seller Central and did FBA. And which is fulfillment by Amazon. I would do retail arbitrage, go to stores, scan items, ship them to Amazon. Travis was in some of the same Facebook groups that I was in, and he did a conference called the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference, right?
Right. Nice.
Good job. Got it all. So I knew him from that. And then at some point he posted in one of the groups something about print on demand. And I was like, wait, what? I thought you only did FBA. So then I found out that he was starting the podcast and that he's been doing print on demand. So then we kind of, I would say reconnected, but we hadn't really connected before that. I knew who he was, but he didn't probably know who I was because I was so quiet in the FBA groups. But came into my own in the print on demand group. Yeah.
So my story is very similar. I started with Amazon FBA, and I was in ministry before I got into Amazon, and on my way home from work or the church, I would stop at the Walgreens and scan the whole clearance section, and just trying to find products to sell. And when they actually let me go, I felt like I had enough products to kind of give it a go. And so we jumped into Amazon FBA, primarily retail arbitrage, online arbitrage. We did try some wholesale and had limited success. We didn't really stay the course that long. I did do a lot of private label. I still have, I think, 7 or 8 SKUs that I still stock, but that's down from like 30 or so that, kind of we don't carry anymore. They just kind of went through their life cycle. But at one of the Rocky Mountain resellers, so I started Merch by Amazon, and, started using VAs to create designs for me. And I was just uploading. And I realized, I've got all these designs and I don't have anything, other than t-shirts to put them on. It'd be really cool to be able to spread these designs to other products. And I heard at a Rocky Mountain reseller conference, somebody talking about sublimating coffee mugs with a press. And so I purchased a printer. I purchased a cheap printer that I converted into using the sublimation dyes that you need to sublimate a coffee mug. And I purchased a press, it was a cheap one on eBay for like $125 or something. And I started doing it, learning the hard way, burning a lot of coffee mugs. Cause if you leave them in too long, they'll burn. If you don't leave them in long enough, they won't sublimate fully, and, et cetera, a lot of testing. But I already knew how to create listings because of my private label stuff. So all I had to do was create the listing for these new designs, and I had a new product on Amazon. It was I called it the poor man's private label. And so I really switched from Merch by Amazon into print on demand. And now we've, fast forward 3.5, 4 years, and I'm sitting in my office at my warehouse, where we have 6 different printing methods. We do sublimation, we do embroidery, we do UV, we do laser, we do DTG, which is direct to garment printing. Just like Merch by Amazon, that's what they use, and vinyl. So now we fulfill our own products on Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, Shopify, Bonanza, Wish, and wherever else I can find a place to put my products. And then we fulfill other people's products who also sell on those channels. Then occasionally we have, a local, person that wants, I just literally had a call from somebody who wanted 100 coffee mugs today. And so they put that order in, and we'll fulfill that and send them the coffee mugs or have them pick up. So that's kind of the story in a nutshell. And so here we are.
Amazing. Well, so much to unpack there. For one thing, when you said it's the poor man's private label. So when I was doing retail arbitrage, I did that for, 3-4 years, something like that. And I was like, I cannot keep scanning and shipping products. I'm like, this has to change. I got to either hire people to do this. I have to do something different. So I was very seriously considering doing private label, but then there was print on demand, and I'm like, it's kind of the same thing. You're going to own your own product, but it's so much cheaper. And you don't have to get stuck with products. Like, I was nervous. Right. My first one, I didn't know if it would sell or not sell. And, I didn't want to buy hundreds of something that didn't sell. So I went the print on demand route. But there's so many different ways, and you can weave in and out of all these different things. Yeah. You could do both at the same time, private label and print on demand. And anyway. Yeah,
there's plenty of ways to do print on demand that I don't know much about at all. I actually was listening to a Clubhouse room about Redbubble the other day, and I have a million questions about Redbubble because I don't really know anything about it. And so, I mean, me who quote unquote is a successful print on demand person, still has plenty of other ways plenty of other avenues to go if I can figure out, to get more than 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. The other thing I love that you said is that you learned about sublimation from the Rocky Reseller Conference, and that's the conference that you put on. So I love that. I'm the same way. Yeah. I'm learning from you right now. Like, I've learned so much from Merch Money, and I'm the one who's doing it. So anyway, I love that. So, and that also goes to show, like, if you just start something or explain what you know. It's amazing what you're going to end up learning from that and who you're going to end up meeting that can guide you the next direction. So, well, anyway, and then third thing I wanted to say from what you said is just how you just dove right in. Just try it. Try sublimation with coffee mugs. That's the easiest one to get started because those printers or machines or whatever is pretty inexpensive. So
yeah.
So you started with coffee mugs. What did you do next after coffee mugs?
I did coffee mugs for a long time. As a matter of fact, my first facility, I bought an industrial conveyor oven that think of like a pizza oven, except at the end it had like a cooler on it that would blow down. So when they would come through, they would, get basically cooked in the oven part, and then they would get blown on as they continued down. And then by the time they reached the end, you could grab them and unwrap them. So I did a lot of coffee mugs for a real long time. The next print method we got into was DTG. I bought an Epson F2100, which is, it's a pretty darn good machine. I mean, it's expensive, but it's the F2100 is kind of the newest of the, I don't know if you can call them consumer machines, prosumer machines. It's kind of their low end, but it's still, 15 grand or 14 grand or whatever it is. And then you also need a pre-treater because you have to pre-treat the machine or pre-treat the garments before, so the inks will adhere to the garment. And then you have to either, you have to use a press, like a heat press, to cure the inks and all that stuff. So there's a significant, investment to get into DTG, but that was kind of my second thing. And then I had an opportunity to purchase a bunch of equipment from somebody else. And I basically just took the leap of faith, and it's pretty cool. I just made I got these, one of my suppliers has these really, really awesome water bottles that you can do laser on. And I just, my 11-year-old daughter, who's reading the Harry Potter series, broke her Christmas water bottle that said Harry Potter on it. So I found a really cool logo online that said platform 9 3/4 and did a really cool design. If you know Harry Potter, you know that reference. And I did it in maroon. The mug was in maroon, which is the, Gryffindor colors, and she was ecstatic. So, the benefits don't just, it's not just about selling all your wares. You also, you can make people smile. Particularly it's fun when you can do it inside of your family too.
Awesome. So let's start going over to the Walmart side. We're getting some Walmart questions. Melissa's asking, how do you integrate with Walmart? Okay, so you started the whole print on demand thing. You were fulfilling your own products. You started on Amazon Seller Central, I guess, probably. Yes. And then, so guys, that's one platform, Amazon Seller Central. We got Shopify, Etsy, so many others. So Walmart is one that we don't talk about a lot. What's what made you think of selling on Walmart? Had you been selling private label on Walmart already?
I was not selling private label on Walmart. Actually, I heard Walmart again at the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference because Jet.com I had a speaker that's talked about Jet.com. And I'm not sure how long ago, but Jet.com was purchased by Walmart. And they kind of absorbed them. And during that time, I don't remember exactly how I heard about it, but I thought, man, another channel. Let's see if I can get approved. It took a while. To be honest, it took a while to get approved. I'll just preface all of this stuff by saying Walmart.com is where Amazon.com was in like 2012. Yeah. So you're going in a time machine back to a time when Amazon didn't have all their ducks in a row and everybody was like, oh man, why did they do it like this? Why don't they do it like this? Oh, this is so dumb. It's such a, and Seller Central is terrible. And, I have all the complaints in the world. However, the competition in 2012 on Amazon.com was nothing compared to what it is today. And I guarantee if you polled the audience, every single one of them would be both hands raised. Yes, I want to be on Amazon in 2012. Yeah. And that's kind of the opportunity that you get with Walmart.
I was on tail end of 2013, like really started in 2014. And the entire time I've been part of Amazon groups, there's always been a sky is falling type thing, where something terribly is wrong, or it's saturated, or it's the end, or whatever, something terribly wrong in the past 8 years. But through those 8 years, people at different times will be like, oh man, I wish I could have had an account in 2014 or 15. I'd be like, oh, you're so lucky, you're so lucky you started merch early, or all these different things. But when you do start it early, everybody's saying how terrible it is. So you just have to kind of remember that and weigh everything, because early days it's just not as smooth. Even with Merch by Amazon, there were so many problems in the early days. There was only 2 t-shirts, and, they would run out of colors, or they'd freeze things, or, there's so many growing pains in the early days. But it was nice because you didn't have as much competition. And then with FBA, same thing. There's so many growing pains, but it was nice because you got approved for selling different products easier. And, so I'm sure with Walmart, there's growing pains, but at the same time, it's like, it's so early that there's not really a downside to being over there.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about the actual application process for Walmart.
Sure. So caveat is I signed up a couple years ago. And so I know some of the things have changed, but even on our Clubhouse room, someone was looking up some of the things that you need. And you do need to treat this like a business. So you do need to have an EIN. And actually, apply at your, the Secretary of State website for your state and get a business license. Basically, it's not really expensive. It's just, I think to people that aren't, really used to this, it's a little bit intimidating, but don't let it be. Just let it be
simple.
It's very simple. And you can get on the phone. My secret to my success, here you go. I get on the phone with somebody. I try to get on the phone with somebody and I act like I know nothing. And I try to get them to tell me, I'm like, please, I don't really understand this. Just explain it to me like I'm a 4th grader, because I just need some help. Would you please help me? And they take pity on me and they tell me all the answers that I need. So that may work for you. So you need an EIN. You need to be an official business. You also need to have a place of business that can be your house. But as we were talking about on Clubhouse, it may make sense for you to just get a PO box. So for your business address, just so all of your business stuff goes there and it looks more official. The other thing that I had to do, and I'm not 100% sure if you have to do now, but you do have to give them, or you did have to give them, a website of some sort. I'm not sure if you could just give them like your Seller Central account, or your store name and give them that. I think they do ask for something. If you are selling on Amazon, they ask for it, but it's not like one of the starred requirements that you have to give. So in other words, if you're not selling on Amazon Seller Central, not merch, but Seller Central, if you're not doing that, you can still get approved, but they do want you to supply that. If, it does give you a certain level of legitimacy if you have, products on their main competitor.
Right.
And so they ask for that. I'm trying to think if there's any other things.
When I had looked at it, and again, this was a couple years ago, and I never really completely finished the process. So I have to go through it again myself. But I remember they had asked about sales numbers and things like that.
Yep, they do.
So do you know if they still do that?
They still do that. That's one of the other things. They ask you how much revenue your business did. I think for the previous 12 months, and they are looking for. They're looking for high volume sellers. They're not necessarily looking for people that are going to do print on demand. And so, like I said earlier, if you are doing print on demand, you plan on doing print on demand, don't say that in the initial application. However, once you get in, it's a whole different set of rules because you're kind of in the club at that point. But you really want to present yourself as a legitimate business that has products that Walmart.com would benefit from putting in front of their buyers. And if if you go into it with that mindset, I think you can get approved. You're obviously going to have some type of sales, background. I think, back in the day, they only wanted $1 million sellers. And I think they've definitely backed off from that. I've heard people getting approved that only have only sold, 100,000 or even less than that, and they're getting approved. I do want to say one thing about the whole approval process. And, one of the reasons I haven't, because I know this question's coming up when people talk to me about Walmart. They're like, well, how do I get approved? What is the steps? How do I do? And the thing that I want to say about that is, to me, yes, it's a legitimate question, but that's just one of the things that you just got to do. And none of the rest of the interview that we're going to talk about Walmart.com matters if you're not even going to take that step. And right. So, and those questions aren't going to change if I tell you what they are now. You're going to go to that website, and I don't even know what it is, but you know what? We have Google. You can find out what the website is, go there. And those questions are going to be the same every single time until you answer them and submit them but you have to actually answer them and submit them. So I think the most important thing that you can learn, from this is to answer them with confidence, like you have products that Walmart.com's customers will want to purchase. Yeah. And if you come in with confidence and you give them honest answers, you're going to have a good shot of getting approved. And the other caveat is you're going to have to keep emailing them, because their follow-up is not as automated as Amazon.com. It's all manual. They manually approve every account, from what I understand. So you may not hear from them, and you may need to email them back and kind of figure it out.
Yeah. And guys, this might not be, a beginner thing. So if you're brand new, if you're watching this, you've never done print on demand, this is a step, 2 or 200, this is down the road a little bit. I think the best way is just start on, something simple, Merch by Amazon, Redbubble, something like that. But I know a lot of people in our audience and in our groups have started either Etsy stores or Shopify stores. So that's kind of going in the direction of you're taking your business seriously, you're starting to build a brand. If you are one of those people that have already started to do that, Walmart's kind of a logical next step, because you've already done the work of starting a business. You already know how to do print on demand. You've already built up some revenue and some sales. So, Walmart's a great option to add to what you're already doing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so now let's talk a little bit about Walmart in general. Like, what would be the benefits of being on there? How does that platform work? How is it different than Seller Central? All of that.
They are really trying to make it. So in the 2 years that I've been on, there have been significant improvements in their interface. So Amazon has Seller Central, Walmart has Seller Center. So
we're not trying to copy it all. No,
yeah, exactly. But when I first got on, Seller Center was a nightmare. It was buggy, and you couldn't. There were times when I first got on, before I integrated my Walmart into my ShipStation, which is how I ship my products, they require that you acknowledge that an order has been sent. Okay. ShipStation does that automatically. So I didn't have to, after I integrated it, all these problems went away. But when I first, tried this, I was on my little laptop, and I couldn't scroll. It wouldn't allow me to scroll to the place that I had to acknowledge the order. So I couldn't even acknowledge. I had to go on to my desktop that had a bigger window that I could figure out a way to manipulate it to where I could get to the button to push. So my point is that it's not like that anymore. You can actually, utilize the website, but on the inside, you do have a lot of different options. They don't have the reporting features that Amazon has in Seller Central. But they do have, you can manually create product listings in the GUI, in the the user interface, and that's basically how I started. They also have the ability for you to use bulk inventory uploader files or spreadsheets If you can, if you have like links to your product images, for example, which is something that we do on Amazon. All of our product creation is done through file uploads.
Nice.
And so we host our images, our product mock-ups and such on a website somewhere. And then in our spreadsheet, we reference that as the main image, the second image, the third image, et cetera, et cetera. So all of that data is in a spreadsheet. Amazon, the cool thing about Walmart is that they also allow you to do that. So if you're good at spreadsheets, particularly if you're already using them for Amazon, it's really, really easy to get a lot of products quickly. Now, it's not the same format. They're going to be in different columns, the data that you need, and they may ask you for different data. But once you've kind of dialed that in, you can quickly add products. I think I'd have to look, but I think, we've got like 15,000 products, static products that are, and that's all we sell. Well, no, I should not say that. I think I was going to say all we sell are coffee mugs, but I think we have some T-shirts on there too. But our main product on Walmart has been coffee mugs. We're going to obviously, be expanding that now that I have all these different prep methods and things like that. But for now, up until this point, it's been coffee mugs.
Sorry, real quick. I remember you saying something about Walmart where you couldn't do the GTIN exemption.
Right.
That true? Okay. So first of all, let's explain what that is. So on Amazon Seller Central, you can submit a request to have a GTIN exemption. And I did that. So I know how to do that process. I was able to. So what that does is it makes it so you don't have to have a UPC code for every single T-shirt. You can just get an exception and then you don't have to do that. But on Walmart, they don't allow that. So explain that process. How do you get UPCs? How does that work?
So this is, I'll be honest with you. It's a little bit gray hat, but it really is like our products don't have UPCs because they don't exist until someone buys them. Yeah. And so I don't necessarily have a problem basically going and buying UPCs to assign to Walmart products because I don't have another way to do this. So I use a website called Speedy Barcodes, and I think it's speedybarcodes.com, or you can look it up. But it's a reputable place to buy UPC codes, and you can buy them in the thousands. I'll just leave it at that. And so I use those UPCs on my Walmart listings. So Walmart will accept them because they don't. I don't know that it's 100% accurate to say they won't give out GTIN exemptions. But I think it's really, really, really difficult to get one.
They don't have like a streamlined process.
Exactly. It's not like Amazon.com. So the easy way, the quicker way is just to use UPCs for your products that you're going to upload. And, if you get UPCs, I wouldn't recommend going to like eBay or I would go to, a reputable place like Speedy Barcodes. From what I understand, they are GS1 barcodes that have not been used or been turned back into the GS1. I don't know
we won't
all
get
about
into
that,
any legal
but yeah.
and everything. So
Exactly.
I just wanted to. You guys can find your own way to get UPC codes, but I just wanted to bring that up. That's a concern. That is a concern if you're used to selling on Seller Central. It's a little bit harder on Walmart. You got to add that step of having the UPC codes. All right. What else? Okay. So the other thing is processing times. It defaults to only 2 days. And with print on demand, that's nearly impossible to have your product ready in 2 days. So what is the solution for that?
So they do have, they call the processing time the lag time. And so once you get approved, you go to their little help center, which is pretty robust. And they do have, they have kind of the same thing that Amazon has with the cases, and, you can submit a ticket and all of that stuff. But once you're in, you can look up extending your lag time, and they will allow you, Walmart.com will allow you to extend your lag time up to 5 days if you have a legitimate business reason. And so they have an application. Basically, they say, send the answers to these questions to this email, and we'll let you know what we decide. And so, I mean, again, it's not automated. Everything's manual. So there's, I think, 7 or 8 questions that they ask you, that may or may not pertain. Again, I would encourage you just to think, these are products that, so what I said, I'll just tell you what I said was these products are custom made when someone orders. And when I say custom, in this context, people may think personalized. I'm not saying that. When I say custom, what I mean, on Walmart is that these products are unique. Every single one is a custom image on the product. So basically, I say they're made to order. I don't use the words print on demand, but I say these products are made to order. And so we need time to make them before we send them to the customer. And then I answered the rest of their questions, and I got a 5-day lag time on my account. And then once you have that, you can, for me, I'm printing my own stuff. So I actually moved it back to 2 days. I just wanted that flexibility, particularly for Q4, that I could move it to 5 days. Yeah. Because everybody knows this last Christmas was just crazy with
Yes.
delays and everything. So
yes. I want to have that cushion, because your account's at risk. Like if you're not making these times, if you're late on every single order, that's not going to look good for Walmart. They're not going to like that. So be on the safe side and ask for an extension if you can. Yeah. So you print it yourself. Do you think it would be possible for people to use a fulfillment partner, like a Printful or Printify or something like that? Or what is your suggestion?
I think, so I haven't used Printful in quite a while, or Printify in quite a while. I don't know what their current, lag time really is. The last drop shipper I was using, I had a really good relationship. And I was able to basically, I had somebody's email that I could say, hey, is this going to go out today, or is this not going to go out today? Is it going to go out tomorrow? Do you know when? And they would actually answer me personally. So my recommendation is, if you are using a Printful or a Printify, first of all, back to Melissa's question, Printful and Printify do not have an integration with Walmart. I don't know of anybody that has a direct integration, any of the big kind of ones that we think of that have a direct integration with Walmart. So you are going to have to fulfill your orders or use somebody that has the ability to integrate. One process that we're looking into, and don't mean for this to be a pitch, but our whole goal at this production facility is to eventually take on clients. And so we're looking into a solution called Order Desk that basically does integrate with, you can push the Walmart orders into Order Desk, and then they get, kind of down the stream to us. We fulfill them, and then it passes the shipping information back up the channel to the Walmart.com. So the integration is, unfortunately a little challenging right now, but you are able to, you can order something on Printify, just manually. You can create that product and do that, but you may have to do that for a while, until some of these guys get integrations for them. But again, I don't know the lag time. I don't really know how long those processes are. Do you know how long, how long does Printful take to fulfill a t-shirt or a coffee mug?
I think they're getting faster now. I think they would be fast enough, but I'd have to double check. I haven't looked in the last couple of weeks. But Emma has a question. I think we just answered it. But Emma, if you have any more, just let us know. She said, "Can we use Printful with Walmart?" So it doesn't directly integrate, but you could manually place an order with Printful. Exactly. Or you could use a local. If there's any local printers in your area, you could team up with somebody locally, kind of like what you're doing. There's all kinds of smaller people. There's t-shirt shops. There's different. I know, we used to do custom t-shirts in college with there was like a little shop right on campus at Rutgers that would do the t-shirts for us. So I'm sure there's still things like that around. So you could do it that way, or like Travis did, you get your own little coffee mug printer thing for $125 or a couple $100, and you can start fulfilling them on your own. So I think that's kind of cool. All right. So we talked about integrations and printing. How does payments and things like that work? You would be the seller on record, so it's not a royalty. And then do they pay every couple of weeks, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's basically the same as Seller Central. It's an every 2-week payout. I think you can request an early payout. I'm not sure. But I do know, like, automatically, I've never done that. So it just drops into your bank account every 2 weeks. They use Payoneer as their processor. And so they just drop it right into your bank account.
Nice. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. So you would need to make sure that you pay up front, like for these products and shipping and all of that. So just keep that in mind with this. If you're used to Merch by Amazon or something, it's different.
Yeah.
What else about Walmart should we know? Do they, I really don't know the platform very well. Like, do they have BSR ranks and things like that? Or how does it work over there?
Let me see. They have they don't have BSR ranks, but they do have, and I'm just going to pull it up here as we're talking to see if I can think, of any other things that would be beneficial for people to know. They do have like a section that, what is it called? It's called, I want to say it's like best-selling products, in particular categories. So you can kind of get an idea of, I logged into the wrong place. I went into that's something else we could talk about. I just clicked where I thought, my extra, like there was a button that used to be there that's not there anymore, and it was replaced by a Walmart fulfillment services button. In other words, FBW, which is fulfilled by Walmart. So on our podcast, Print on Demand Cast, on our episode 23, we interview a seller named Barbara, and Barbara's been selling on Walmart for quite a while. And we talk about Walmart. And 2 days later, or during the podcast, we talked about how FBW was delayed because of COVID, and it's probably not a thing, and et cetera, et cetera. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, I get an email because I had applied for FBW a long time ago. I got an email and said, "Hey, you're accepted. Start onboard. We're going to onboard you and get you into the program." And so what I'm in my very limited amount of time with our production staff has been out with COVID. Like, literally, I have 3 people that are out with COVID, and 2 of them just came back today. Another one's coming back Thursday. So I've been in production. I haven't had a lot of time to dig into the FBW, but what I have learned, the idea is basically the same as Amazon. You have to use, some different stickers. You can't use if you're familiar with FBA, they have an FN SKU, fulfillment network SKU, that you stick on every product. You can't use that same fulfillment network SKU for Walmart. They actually want you to use the UPC, which is another reason GTIN wouldn't work in this case, because there isn't a UPC if you have an exemption. So you have to create those UPC labels. But I'm pretty excited about trying it out. And
so with that, print the products ahead of time and ship it into Walmart, and then Walmart ships it out when the customer buys it.
And then Walmart puts the 2-day special, almost like a Prime badge. Okay. It's Walmart's version of a Prime badge on any of the products that they have in their warehouse. So you hopefully get more sales because it'll get there quicker.
And it'll just save you time too. So if something's coming up, like St. Patrick's Day, for instance, and like you have a few, sellers that are doing well, you could pre-print all of those and ship it to Walmart. I guess sizing, how would that work? You would just pick the most common sizes, or?
I think for t-shirts, I've never sent a single t-shirt into an Amazon fulfillment center. I've always done coffee mugs because, like you just said, for t-shirts, you have so many sizes and you don't know what you're going to sell. I mean, you could, if you had a really, really good selling t-shirt, you could, kind of estimate based on your sales. I've never had that. I've never had a great selling shirt. So I've always used coffee mugs because there's really only, on a white coffee mug, you have an 11 ounce and you have a 15 ounce. And so I'd usually send in the 11 ounce because it sells a little better than the 15 ounce because it's a little cheaper. Yeah. So that's what I start with. But the thing I was going to say about, when I got accepted into FBW, I was looking through the seller central or seller center part, thinking, okay, well, which products do I want to, send in? Where are the reporting features that, I can use to figure out which have sold? And really, Walmart Seller Central doesn't have very many reporting features. So what I'm going to have to do is use my ship station and look at what is sold and use that as what is sold on Walmart to kind of determine that. So that makes it a little more challenging. I'm hoping that Walmart Seller Center gets a little better with their reporting because so far it's kind of subpar in my opinion.
Emma had a few more questions. We talked about the UPCs. Yes, the UPCs are expensive. So that is just something to look into. And then the fulfillment provider, you do have to have a fulfillment provider. So either you do it yourself or local or whatever you want to use. I think that we answered all those, right? Is there anything else you want to say for her questions? Do you see them?
Yeah, I see them. You can use a fulfillment provider. That's not a problem. It's just your fulfillment provider needs to be able to provide that 5-day lag time that you agreed to provide to send the products by. Yeah. Like we said before, you get 2 days and then you apply and you can get up to 5 days. And if they can't guarantee that, you may want to turn off your Walmart store in Christmas. Or like Helen was saying, use somebody local or somebody that can guarantee that, it'll get out of their facility in 5 days.
Yeah. And this platform doesn't have to be a lot of UPCs. So in terms of the UPCs being expensive, you don't have to do this like you do with Merch by Amazon or something where you have thousands and thousands of SKUs. You could just pick a few like really great sellers. And it doesn't have to be t-shirts. It could be coffee mugs. It could be pillows. It could be, anything. So we're just letting you know it's out there. We've got some people testing it out, like Travis. I myself have not tested it out. I have been interested in it for a long time. So Barbara, who he had interviewed, I had heard her speak at several different conferences years ago when I was doing FBA and learning about private label and all of that. And she was very excited about Walmart in one of her speeches. So I was interested, and I've been interested all these years, but it never quite has fit into my personal plan. But I try to get all the information from everyone onto this show because everybody has different goals, different places they are in their business. And I just want to make sure you guys know it's there. And it's nice when you can be early. And I feel like it's not early because I've heard about Walmart for so long, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very early still. Yeah. They haven't worked out all the different kinks. They haven't made it as easy as Seller Central. So again, it's like in some ways, I'm sure a certain number of people watching this are going to be like, why is she even talking about it? Because it's so hard. But a certain number of people are going to take action on it, and they're going to be the early adopters, and they're going to run into problems. Maybe like you've probably run into some things, but at the same time, it's just so much less competition over there.
Yeah, there is a genuine opportunity at Walmart.com. And, like you said, it may not be for everyone. But if you're, you're kind of established, maybe you're selling on Etsy, you have some Printful or Printify relationships and whatnot. It doesn't hurt anything to apply, or to at least Google it and see what they're asking for, and to put your best foot forward, try to get approved. If you get approved, test it out. And getting approved, I would recommend, if you do get approved, at least put a product on there. Figure out a way to get a UPC and at least put a product on there, because I've heard Helen's story. about just missing getting
yeah.
totally cut off from merch because
1 month.
right.
Yeah.
So don't let that be your story.
Yeah. So that was, for anybody who doesn't know that story, I was doing FBA in 2015 and heard Chris Green talking about Merch by Amazon. And so I was in the middle of packing a box, stopped for a second, applied for Merch by Amazon, got instantly approved because they didn't really have applying back then. It was just like sign up for an account basically. And then I went back to packing my box. It was September. It was very busy with Q4. I really didn't think about it too much. I started hearing people upload designs, but I didn't take any action on it for almost a full year. I don't think it was quite a full year. Finally, somebody started selling. It was Brianna. She started a company and was selling print-on-demand designs, and I bought a package from her, uploaded them, and then the very next month, I started seeing everybody say, "Oh, my Merch by Amazon account got closed because I didn't upload anything," and I was like, "Oh my God, I missed it by 1 month." So yes, definitely upload. Don't wait a whole year. Yeah, Emma, it's been around. That's what I was saying. I heard Barbara talk about this a long time ago. I mean, it's totally up to you. We're just telling you it's there. There's definitely people like Travis has been on for a couple of years. There's definitely people who have been on for a while. It's just not a lot of people.
I would say because the barrier to entry is perhaps a little higher, because they haven't really got it automated to where, like Amazon is, that in and of itself kind of gives you the hint that it's still early. And I know, Jacob said he talked about it 3 years ago. But he also talked about every single print on demand opportunity. And there was no way that somebody was going to do all 30 or 40 different channels. People were picking and choosing the ones that they were wanting to get on. And to be frank, Walmart doing print on demand on Walmart, you kind of had to get in there and figure it out. And I don't know that anybody really has figured out print on demand on Walmart very well. I know Barbara talks about even she's doing custom. And the way she does it is when she gets an order, she texts her buyer, which Walmart told her to do this, which blows my mind. Walmart told Barbara to text her buyer and say, "Hey, send me the email with the art or with the name or whatever that you want on your product that I'm selling to this email."
Yeah.
So she is reaching out to Walmart's customer with an email address, which can you imagine that on Amazon.com today? You would get suspended in a heartbeat. Yeah. So again, Walmart.com is Amazon of 2012. It just is.
And back to what I was saying, I mean, I was doing FBA 2014, very end of 2013. So I've heard about Walmart for a long time. So I'm not saying at all, like, don't take this as I'm saying it's brand new. This Walmart has been around a very long time. But I never, even when I was doing FBA, I never sold on Walmart just because it was so much harder than selling on Seller Central. So I never crossed that barrier of selling on Walmart, even doing FBA. I would hear it at the conferences. So I heard Barbara talking about it. And if you go back in Merch Money, if you type in Walmart in the search in the Facebook group, every so often I would ask, I'd be like, "Is anybody selling print on demand on Walmart? Because I'd love to interview you for the show." So I did that like every, 6 months or so. I would try to find people. So I've been on the search, and every time I found out that somebody had a Walmart account, I would like harass them to try print on demand. So poor Kim Jensen, I would be like, "Please just put up one shirt. I just want to see if it works." And she, she's too busy doing her own thing. Never tested it, but anytime, like if you ever said the word Walmart around me, I'd be like, "Have you tried print on demand? Can you please try it? We just need someone to test it." So once I found out Travis did it, I'm like, "All right, that's it. You got to come tell us about it." So thank you for doing this, because I know I know quite a few people that have a Walmart account, but they do private label or they do, something else. It's not really print on demand. So you're the closest person I found who is doing print on demand on Walmart, you and Barbara. So appreciate both of you being the pioneers and figuring it out for all of us.
Yeah. Again, I just think it's such an opportunity. Um, and yeah, just to say it again, I do think it's early. I think it's really early, specifically for print on demand, because every single day, another seller's signing up for Etsy and is linking her account or his account to Printful or Printify and going to Creative Market or Placeit.net and putting up, their mock-ups. And I mean,
Yeah.
every single day there's 100 new sellers on that platform. Same
Yeah.
thing with Amazon. It's
Yeah.
not the case on Walmart.
And we're not trying to make it sound like Walmart's easy, because
No, not at all.
I'm not doing it. So it's hard for me. And so it's going to be probably hard for a lot of you. But some of you will figure it out. Some of you will be a Travis or a Barbara and do it. So I just want to lay it out there that there is at least one person doing it. We know confirmation. I've been scanning YouTube for Walmart videos over the years, and there have been a few other people, but I haven't been able to. I don't know. Somehow I couldn't. I didn't know them well enough to get them on the show. Yeah. But Emma's asking about Christina. She's hanging in there. She's for anyone who doesn't know, Christina has breast cancer, so she's had chemo starting, and she's having I think reactions to the chemo, and it's just she's not doing great right now. But so keep her in your prayers. We'll see. Yeah. See what happens.
I saw her post a few days ago, and it was amazing. I mean, it was really inspiring, what she's going through and the way she's, keeping her spirits up. So yeah, prayers go out to her for sure.
Yep. So, well, it's almost an hour up, and you did the whole hour on Clubhouse. I really, really appreciate it. I definitely don't want to hold you more than an hour. So is there anything that we haven't talked about yet about Walmart? Anything that you want to mention? Any thoughts?
There's
nothing there's no extensions and stuff. Is there Chrome? Like, I know I'm so used to Seller Central. So there's like Keepa, Camel, like all those things. Is there anything like that with Walmart?
Not that I'm using. I haven't really looked, to be honest. I will say if my whole goal in print on demand has been the ability to scale. And so one of the things that I've really focused on is, having all of our products on Excel spreadsheets, like I kind of talked about earlier, and being able to have all of the data in one spot for each product. And we have massive spreadsheets and lots of them. If you're using Walmart with spreadsheets, it's different than Amazon.com in that they have different spreadsheets for different tasks. So if you want to upload a bunch of items, you use one spreadsheet. If you want to change all of the inventory on your items, you use a different spreadsheet. If you want to change something on these, I mean, there are some, again, Amazon circa 2012, there are some frustrating things and some challenging things that you're just going to run into, and you're just going to have to do your best to figure out as you go along. But I'm happy to, answer questions or, hit me up on Facebook. Send me an email at info@printondemandcast.com. We'll probably talk about it more on the podcast too. We're definitely, the whole reason we did the podcast is to help people. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity here, and I'd love to get some questions about this, because that means that people are taking action.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just can't thank you enough. This is so exciting. I've been waiting literally 3 years. Ever since we started Merch Money, I've been waiting for someone to come talk to us about print on demand for Walmart. So really appreciate you. And sure. Anything, make sure you follow Travis. Hopefully I have the links. I think I do in the description. So he has a podcast. I don't know what else. Facebook group, Clubhouse. Definitely follow him on Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. Clubhouse is great because you can just, it's almost like one-on-one coaching. It's amazing. You get this like time to ask your questions, and it's a small group. Like a lot of these rooms, I mean, there's rooms with thousands of people, but a lot of the print on demand rooms, it's like 15 people. You get a lot of one-on-one time. So if you by any chance can get on Clubhouse, do it.
Yeah, we had a guy.
Clubhouse is still early days. It's very nice, this one-on-one time.
I was going to say we had a guy on today in the group we did before the show that he was asking, all about merch by Amazon and asking the difference between that and Seller Central. And I mean, he got, a fire hose worth of information.
And we also got information from him because he had his own printer and he was helping influencers do their demand. So it's really cool. And he found us from Clubhouse because I've been asking that question, like, are you already in our Facebook group or are you finding us from Clubhouse? He found us from Clubhouse. So it's a whole new contact. Like we knew things that he didn't know. He knew things that we don't know. And it's really fun. It's really neat to meet a whole new group of people.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Travis. And we really appreciate your time. 2 whole hours today. You got to get home to your family now. And thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
Day. Thank you for watching.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.